Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just so glad that you make the decision every morning or evening to tune in to us and leave such wonderful comments about the topics that we talk about. And if you've got anything, by the way, that you ever want us to discuss or cover, just drop me a line and leave a note in the section below, and we can do our best to try to help. But the whole point of these conversations is to raise topics that are of interest to women over 60 and with our 50s and 60s sisters in too, because they are really dealing with some of the similar transition issues. But anyway, it's just topics that are on your mind. So, my tea, first of all. Now, I know some of you travel, and when you get to the hotel, you see those little tea bags, and they're all different sometimes. And you think, oh, I'll just take that home with me and try it later. Well, I found this one in my little box. It's a tea company in Singapore, and it's called Fields and Selects. And I've never seen them anywhere else. But anyway, I opened it up this morning to make a cup of tea. It's a mint tea, menthe. And oh my gosh, the scent is so strong. It's the strongest mint tea I think I've ever tasted. Really, really good. And as you know, I don't even like mint tea that much, but it was such a cool package. I thought I'd pick it up. So anyway, I hope you've got a cup of tea or coffee or something more stronger, if that's what you want. But anyway, thanks again for being here. Now, how many of you, hands up, forgot something today? A name, a place where you put something, what you were doing in that room. The things that you think, oh my gosh, my brain is falling apart. I've got Alzheimer's. I've got dementia. It's the beginning stages. I know it is, and we panic. But it's really kind of an interesting psychology, because one of our bloggers, Kay Van Norman, wrote an article about how to power up your brain in your 60s, and she starts by talking about this, that as soon as we start to forget something as we get older, we immediately associate it with being ill, being something wrong with us. And she reminds us, of course, that this is ridiculous. That if you look back over your life, you'll see that you were forgetting things like pretty much the whole time. I mean, the number of times you took your kids somewhere and then completely forgot, like, I don't know, important things like money to buy the ticket, or you just forgot. And at the time, you were just thinking, oh, I'm multitasking, or I'm just busy, or whatever, and you just wouldn't blame yourself. You wouldn't think anything of it. But now we're still busy. We're still running around doing all kinds of cool stuff. We're thinking, we're reading, we're walking, we're digesting information in the world, dealing with relationships. All that stuff is the same. And there's good reason sometimes for us to be forgetful. So that's the first thing, is to just be aware that don't worry all the time about being forgetful. And I actually, funnily enough, have found that since I've started making notes, like putting lists together, and being conscious, like when I go out, did I turn this off, or did I did I lock the door properly? I just sort of have a mantra, and I've ended up, touch wood, actually being more thoughtful, more remembering more. So anyway, Kay gives us a couple of ideas about how to sort of pump up the brain and how to, make it really work for you in your 60s. Now, first thing, the brain loves novelty. It just likes weird things. It remembers the odd things, and you can build like new neural pathways in your brain by just doing things a little bit differently. So, for example, when you brush your teeth in the morning, if you're brushing your teeth always with your right hand, try doing it with your left hand. Easy thing. Or, just like put your clothes on. You can't put your clothes on in a different order unless you wanted to wear your underwear on the outside. But, put things on differently. Just put on your makeup in a different way. Start with your lips as opposed to your eyes. Just do things that are novelty to your brain. And this includes reading things that you don't normally read about, reading an article on a topic that you don't, that you have no interest in normally. Do something like walk to work, or on your daily walk in a different way. Instead of going the same old way, same old path, go the other way. So that's kind of interesting, injecting a little novelty into a habit. And that powers up your brain. It totally does. As I said, it builds these new pathways in your brain, and all that mythology about the aging brain cannot regrow itself, like you've just had a drink and killed 5,000 brain cells. It doesn't work like that. Your brain can be recharged. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that the brain loves oxygenated blood. It loves blood that comes gushing into it from your body after you've been for a walk, after you've done some exercise. It loves the oxygen. It needs that to survive and thrive. And even if you just walk a little bit, you get your heart rate up, that blood is pumping, and your brain is benefiting from it. So it circulates, the blood through your whole body. And really, I interviewed once Dr. Medina, who's a brain specialist, and he said that really whatever is good for the body is great for the brain. Like it's not separate from you. It is part of your body. So the good things that you put into your body are good for your brain too. So cognitive health, is not something that's sort of mysterious and abstract. It really is something that you could do something about. So learning new things, trying new things with Novelty, learning a new language or something that's odd outside the norm, and then also providing your brain with great healthy blood flow. And if you don't go to the gym, just do some jumping jacks in your room, or just those ones where you move side to side or bend your neck, anything to get you moving. Super important. Ride a bike, go walking, jump on a motorcycle, do whatever you want to make your body healthy and strong, because that will help your brain be healthy and strong. Now, there's actually some research that's been done too on nostalgia, which is really, really fascinating with the brain, that it has a power to stimulate memories. I think this is a really cool thing. I don't know if you have seen this video, but it's an older man who is suffering from dementia, and he is in a hospice or hospital where he is pretty much quiet the whole time, just sitting. And his granddaughter comes in one day with music. She remembers he liked Cab Calloway and some of the old singers, old in the sense of, from another time. And she puts the speakers on his ears, and he starts to listen, moving, and he starts singing the songs with all the words. He knows them all. And it just generated that great memory stream. So that's another very cool thing, to use music and nostalgia to stimulate your brain to think about things that you haven't thought about in a while, and to bring those into your life. That's really, really important. New movement patterns like dancing, if you're learning a new dance. By the way, I know I digress. We put an article up on 60andMe last week or some time ago, I don't know when it was, about dancing in your 60s. It was so fun. Honestly, it took me like an hour to watch all the videos. They were so interesting. Like all those dances that you did when you were a young kid, like, the Watusi, the mashed potato, the monster mash. Do you remember that? Do you remember the twist, of course? All these dances, the Madison, these were all dances that required some coordination, especially the line dances that we did. If you did them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, dances are very good for the brain because you have to learn like sequential movements. And that's cool. That really helps the brain to, again, build those pathways. And the other thing then that I will lead into, which is, sort of a most important one in many ways, is that in doing that dance, you're actually building a social connection. And this is so, so important for your brain. It loves company. It loves to do things, with other people. And it loves that emotional connection that you get with someone. This is super important. I know it doesn't seem like something that you would, think about if you were talking about pumping up the brain, but it is. It makes a very big difference. So if you're going to watch that Netflix binge, or you're going to watch, the Game of Thrones, which I've never watched, by yourself, just invite a bunch of friends over. Say, hey, I'm going to make a pizza, or we can share a pizza together, and let's just watch these crazy films together. And it's that sense of sitting down, doing something together, laughing, hugging, connecting, and your brain just gets powered up when you do that. So it's funny. I remember, speaking of nostalgia, I remember my friend Maureen and I used to Academy Awards show, we would go out to the local thrift store, somewhere that could buy like a really fancy evening dress for $5, and with glitter and sparkles and slits and dips and all that stuff. And we would then get all dressed up and we would watch the Academy Awards together, because it was like everybody would come down the red carpet, and it would be also everybody's got this dress on or that fashion, and we would be there in our drinking our glasses of wine with our fancy dresses on. Kooky, I know, but that's good for the brain. The brain loved us for that. So I think that's another important thing to remember, that nostalgia is good for the brain. Exercise and dance, just anything really that gets the brain thinking, using the little neurons that it's been provided with. It needs stimulation. So I hope that that's been helpful. I mean, these lifestyle changes that you can make really are good for your body and for your brain. And I think that it's really been a great look at how we can do this. And Kay, thank you for putting it all together, because I think that sometimes we take it for granted. We don't even think about our brain. We think I've got to work out or do this or that, but it's all good for the brain too. All right. So I hope that you're inspired. You're now going to go out and learn Russian, or go out for a long walk in nature, or do some running. And just remember that when you forget your keys, it's not the end of the world. You just forgot your keys. And it happens all the time. All right, so have a great day, everybody. Do something good for your body and your brain. And I have a question here, which is, what are you currently doing to make sure that your brain is staying healthy? What are you doing right now to make sure that your brain is staying healthy? Leave your comments in the section below. Let's share with each other, see what we're up to. And it's really useful, by the way, to get other people's comments. You sometimes learn so much. So what are you currently doing to make sure that your brain is staying healthy? Look forward to reading the comments and joining in. And again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your warmth and support. We appreciate it. Tell your friends about 60andMe. And be sure to check out our new website to see what it's like and whether you love it. Take care, everybody. Have a fabulous day, and we'll talk again very soon. Bye-bye for now.